Before the video starts, I'd like to give a few disclaimers. This video is not made for kids. Sure, it has Nintendo characters in it, but it also has rated M games and showing things like firearms. Also, I do not own any of the characters or music used in this video. And finally, this is the first high quality video I'm ever making, so please don't judge too harshly. You know, Smash Bros. Ultimate has a lot of characters in it. With a new game coming out, should we cut some? Nah, let's add more! Now I know what you're probably going to say. We already have like 90 characters in the game. Well, what can I say? I'm a guy who likes a big roster. And with the Switch 2 just being announced, I figured this would be a perfect time to make my own top 10 characters I want in Smash Bros. Now for this list, I have a few rules. Number 1, I won't be including anyone from previous Smash games or the Forbidden 7. Rule number 2, this list will not include Echo Fighters. Number 3, there won't be Scorpion or Maxwell because we have Multiverse for that. Okay, while I was editing this, Multiverse has announced that Season 5 is the final season and the game will go offline after May 30th. So yeah, that sucks. But still, this doesn't affect the list at all, so let's keep going. And finally, for rule number 4, no characters from TV shows, movies, or cartoons. However, I am allowed to add characters from TV shows, movies, and cartoons if the base character came from a video game. Now, what do I mean by this? That means I can add characters like Detective Pikachu, Movie Toad, Jim Carrey Eggman, or others. Anyways, now that all the rules are in place, all the music will be in the description. So without further ado, over a decade in the making, here is my top 10 characters I want for Super Smash Bros. Now, when it comes to video game consoles, we have the main 3, and miserable failures. Now, to be honest, I've never really been an Xbox person, and I know we have both Banjo and Steve already in the game, but Xbox has so many iconic characters that I feel like another one should be at least considered. Now, I did have a hard time picking as they have some really good options, but in the end, I decided to go with the reason I picked Master Chief over Crash, Spyro, even Doomguy, is because unlike them, and heck, even unlike Banjo and Steve, they're owned by Xbox, they weren't created by Xbox. And with Xbox being such a big name in gaming, I feel like they should probably have at least one character that they themselves created. And given Master Chief's legacy, I feel Master Chief is more than enough to deserve a spot on the roster. And with the amount of weapons he has in his games, I feel like making moveset for him should be pretty easy. The only reason Master Chief isn't higher is because while I do have nostalgia for Halo, it's more so with the Mega Bloks and not so much with the games. But I still think Master Chief is important enough to get into the roster. Now with Xbox done, time to move on to PlayStation.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
The PlayStation 2 was the first video game console I ever had, so I have a lot of nostalgia for it. Now, I didn't play too many PlayStation originals, I mostly played licensed games, but I did own a few. Now, this was a close decision between Jak and Daxter and Kei and Yumi from Ape Escape 3. It was very close, but in the end, I decided to go with Jak and Daxter. Now, why, you may ask? I don't know. I just prefer them more. Now, as for their moveset, there's actually quite a bit to take from. From their normal combat moves, to the various amounts of eco they can possess. Or for his neutral special, he can wield a gun. Now, the only reason they aren't higher is because there's another certain platform fighter that does include them, and it hasn't gotten a sequel in a while, and honestly, I would prefer them in a sequel over them getting in Smash Brothers. But just because I'd rather have them in a sequel to PlayStation All-Stars doesn't mean I wouldn't want them in Smash Bros. 2. And if I could have both, that'd be great. But still, both would be a great addition to Smash, and I'd be so happy if they both got in. Back in the day when Smash for Wii U and 3DS was announced, and they revealed Mega Man, people went crazy. And while I was happy too, it wasn't the version of Mega Man I wanted. The version that I wanted is... I know, we already have classic Mega Man, so why the heck do I want Mega Man X? Well, honestly, because of nostalgia, because Mega Man X was the first video game I ever played. But he can still be unique enough from the original Mega Man to be his own character. Just simply give him different Robot Master weapons. And maybe just throwing it out there, what if for his down B he could transform into Zero or Axel? Now I know some people are probably going to be against this because they'd rather have Zero and classic Mega Man with no X. But no, either X and Zero or neither. If you're wondering why I don't like that idea, imagine this. Imagine if the next Smash game we got 2 Sonic characters, Classic Sonic and Silver. Would that look right to you? I mean, what more can I say? First video game I ever played, he's awesome, and I think he'd be cool for the roster. I have nothing more to say here. But if they don't, can they at least give Mega Man his 11 or even 8 design instead of his powered up design? When it comes to the Star Fox characters in Smash Bros., the main issue people have is that they're all just clones of Fox. And while I personally don't mind, heck, I'd even like Peppy and Slippy as Echo Fighters or clones, I do agree that I would like another Star Fox character that isn't a clone of Fox. So, how about Krystal? Despite her not appearing in the more recent titles, she is still a fan-favorite character, and I think she'd be a great addition to the roster. Not only is she a Star Fox character that isn't a clone of Fox, but she's also another female character, which is always a good addition to the roster. As for her moveset, I could see her using her staff with its both physical attacks as well as some magical attacks. Or for her neutral special, she can wield a gun. And if nothing else, just giving us a Star Fox character that doesn't play like Fox. But yeah, not much more to say. She's just a cool character, and I'd like for her to be in Smash Brothers.
My staff! You're back.
Maybe an unexpected guest will photobomb your battle. Yep, it's him.
When it comes to gaming, indie titles have really taken off lately. Even Smash Bros. Has some characters from indie games with Mii costumes as trophies, and even spirits. However, we don't have an indie playable character yet. However, there's one indie franchise that is very close to Nintendo. So for number 5 on my list, representing the indie characters...
Psych!
Gotcha! No, it's not Freddy. Show the real number 5. Now, originally, this was going to be a tie between Shantae and Lilac. But I ended up going with just Shantae. While she is an indie character, she's actually one of the first, debuting back in 2002 on her game on the Game Boy. So safe to say she has a history with Nintendo. As for her moveset, she has plenty to work with. She can use her hair whipping for physical attacks, some magic for special attacks like her fireball or flamethrower, or maybe even finding a way to incorporate her belly dance transformations like the monkey and elephant. Or for her neutral special, she can wield a gun. So yeah, with all that being said, if we were to get an indie character in Smash Brothers, then I'm rooting for the half-genie hero. You know what kind of pisses me off? Is that this guy hasn't been added to the game yet. I mean, seriously, how's this guy not in the game yet? He's perfect for the game. His moveset from Origins and Legends is practically already a Smash Bros. Moveset. He also got his Brawlhalla moveset. He has a lot to work with. But unfortunately, with Ubisoft being Ubisoft, they want to focus more on the Rabbids. Which sucks because Rayman is an awesome character, an awesome gaming icon, and is important to gaming history. Plus, Ubisoft doesn't even have a character in the game yet. So please, Ubisoft Nintendo. We got Mega Man, we got Pac-Man. So now all that's left is Rayman. And I mentioned for his Neutral Special, he can wield... Guess who? Now, I'm sure a lot of you are probably surprised to see Waluigi so low on the list, but hey, third place is still not bad. Waluigi is long overdue, and he should have been in it honestly since Brawl. We have Mario, we have Luigi, and Wario, but still no Waluigi. You're telling me a Piranha Plant is more deserving to be in Smash Bros. Than the purple guy? Sure, Waluigi's never been in a mainline Mario game, just spin-offs, but that's what makes him special. He can represent those spin-off games. And his moveset can even come from them as well. Being completely honest here, out of all the characters on the list, even the next two coming up, this one is the most needed to complete the roster. The roster is just incomplete without Waluigi, and he's the last piece to really complete it. But there are still two more characters that I personally want more. Waluigi, yeah. Oh boy, I'm not going to be making many friends with my next pick. I know what you're going to say. Really? Another Pokemon character? We already have like 10 in the game. Yes, and I want more. And there are so many great picks. But I won't go overboard, and I'll just pick someone from the generation that I grew up with. So, my second most wanted character for Smash Brothers is... Now, before you click off, please hear me out. Remember earlier when one of the rules was I was allowed to pick a character from a TV show, movie, or cartoon if the base character came from a video game? Well, this is who that rule was meant for. Growing up watching the Pokemon anime, Iris was my favorite character, and I think she'd be a perfect addition to the game. She may be similar to Pokemon Trainer, but is that really a bad thing? I don't see what's wrong with having a character who's a little similar. Not everyone has to be 100% unique to me. Plus, she can bring a lot more to the table. She's a gym leader, a champion, Pokemon who aren't starters, from Generation 5, and have a Dragonite. Plus, who doesn't want a Charizard and Dragonite fight? Speaking of which, the Pokemon I've chosen for her is Axew, Excadrill, and Dragonite. In fact, I've even made a whole moveset for her Pokemon, which you can check in the description below. Unfortunately, given her backlash from the anime and becoming one of the most hated characters in the franchise, it's sadly probably not likely. But if she's not playable, then I'd be satisfied if she at least got a neat costume, spirit, or potentially even a trophy. And while I wasn't a fan of what they did to her in Journeys, she's still my favorite Pokemon character. So if somehow, by any chance, someone from Nintendo watches this, please consider giving us this dream team. So who's number 1? Well, I'll tell you, but first, let's recap. Number 10, Master Chief. Number 9, Jak and Daxter. Number 8, Mega Man X. Number 7, Krystal. Number 6, Barman. Number 5, Shantae. Number 4, Rayman. Number 3, Waluigi. Number 2, Iris. I'm not even gonna build it up, you know who it is. That's right, not only my favorite video game character of all time, but my favorite fictional character of all time, Knuckles. Knuckles has been my most wanted character since I first got in the franchise with Brawl, and I've been wanting him ever since. And it really sucks how, like Krystal, Barman, and Waluigi, he was an assist trophy in Ultimate. Not to mention still in the background of Green Hill Zone. The Sonic franchise needs more reps. It's been 3 games, and Street Fighter, Final Fantasy, even Castlevania got new reps, but Sonic hasn't. Not to mention the franchise popularity thanks to the movies. Sonic is long overdue for a new character, and Knuckles fits the bill perfectly. Plus, you have plenty to work with for a moveset. From punching, to digging, to gliding, you got a lot to work with. And with Sega warming up to the character, giving him big roles in the movies, as well as giving a TV show, and even letting him be playable in Frontiers, even if he was stuck in cyberspace the whole time. Hopefully this can increase Knuckles' chances of being playable. But one thing's for sure, when the next Smash game comes, I'll keep my hopes high for Knuckles. Rock on, Knuckles. So that's my list. Thank you all for watching. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you didn't like it, well, that's what the dislike button is for. If you want to see more content like this, you could subscribe. You don't have to, but you could. Anyways, see y'all next time. Peace.